Much love and appreciation, family. So, for all of the brand new men's and women's shirts that you see, including the shoes, also please check out the link in the description below. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJI HITO here to bring you news. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, something I normally try to do every month when I can remind myself to do it, which is normally talk to you guys about food, what you guys are eating, consuming, and giving to your families. On top of what just so happens to be in your cabinet and food recalls. So I'm just going to read this article to you, as you can also see the video. Food fraud is a $50 billion annual industry, according to Michigan State University's Food Fraud Initiative. And you're probably eating some of that evidence. From Kobe beef to Parmesan cheese, restaurants and grocery stores are packed with foods that aren't quite what they seem. Food makers and retailers cutting corners and hiking up prices can result in feeding consumers some less than truthful marketing. So let's start off with wasabi. About 99% of all wasabi sold in the US is fake. This report comes from the Washington Post. The vast majority of wasabi consumed in America is simply a mix of horseradish, hot mustard, and green dye. True wasabi is difficult to grow and extraordinarily expensive, costing $160 per kilogram at wholesale prices. If you're eating real wasabi, you're consuming the stem of a plant grated and pulverized into a spicy paste. It reportedly has a more complex taste, but needs to be eaten immediately. Within 15 minutes, the freshly grated wasabi begins to lose its signature flavor. Next, we have lobster. More than one third of restaurants swap out lobster for more inexpensive substitutes in their dishes. In February 2017, a news organization ran DNA tests on lobster dishes from 28 restaurants across the country. 35% of the samples contained cheaper seafoods such as whiting and lagostino. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing it right. Bear with me. While lagostino means little lobster in Spanish, the crustacean is more similar to a hermit crab and less expensive than American lobster. Next, Kobe beef. While restaurants across the US offer menu items like the Cheesecake Factory's Kobe burger and pricey Kobe steaks, the vast majority of these claims are false. Only 8 restaurants in the entire United States serve real Kobe beef. Since Kobe beef costs more than $20 per ounce, if you're purchasing something that is supposedly made of Kobe beef and isn't absurdly expensive, you're probably being scammed. Parmesan cheese. This is something I've heard about before. In February 2017, Bloomberg News tested store-bought grated cheeses for cellulose, revealing that all of the cheese, called 100% grated Parmesan cheese, tested containing the anti-clumping additive made of wood pulp. While cellulose is a safe additive, an acceptable level of 2% to 4%, according to the cheese technologist Dean Schomer. Cheesemakers often mix in higher levels of wood pulp when making cheese because it's less expensive than pure Parmesan. Red snapper. According to an expert involved in DNA species testing, 94% of the time you order fish labeled red snapper, it's actually a different fish. A rule of thumb, if the fish is expensive and you haven't seen it on display whole, there's a good chance it's an imitation. And even then, it's hard to differentiate between wild caught and farm fresh. Next, truffles. Real truffles are trendy, prized, and extremely rare. If it's not shaved in front of you, your truffle is likely simply a chemical combination, especially if it's marked as truffle oil. Olive oil. Fake versions of olive oil are extraordinarily common, with retailers passing off seed oils, including soybean oil, peanut oil, and sunflower seed oil, as the real thing. Consuming fake olive oil can have serious health consequences, such as a 1981 case in Spain where 20,000 people consumed so called olive oil that was in fact rapeseed oil. containing a poisonous toxin called aniline. Honey. More than 75% of honey sold in U.S. grocery stores contain ingredients other than pure honey. Honey is frequently watered down and they cut corners with corn or fructose syrup to decrease costs. Further, some retailers mislabel certain types of honey as more expensive and popular types, such as Manuka honey, to hike up prices. All right, this is the part of the video where now I get a chance to give you guys information about the food recalls that have happened. These are, pretty simple compared to some of the other ones I've done where I had to deal with meat or vegetables, ice cream, let's say like, chicken tenders and, things of this nature. So this is where we are now with the recall. Goldfish, Ritz Bits, and other snacks are being recalled because of potential salmonella contamination, and the FDA is warning more could be on the way. And here's the full list. I would also like to note the pictures that I have above while I talk to you guys. There are no, real specific order, but I have them up there so that you guys can determine if you have them in your house or maybe any family members or things of that nature. So one of the main things that they make sure to tell you guys is that if you have them in your house, either throw them away or you can take them back to the store and normally get a refund, or they'll normally give you a hotline to call. So let's get into it. Food poisoning outbreaks have been in the news quite often since 2018. Most recently, a potential salmonella contamination was linked with a number of products containing dry whey powder. Goldfish, Ritz crackers, and Flour Foods Swiss rolls have all been recalled over salmonella fears in the past months, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is warning that more recalls could be on the way. Food poisoning outbreaks seem to be happening nonstop lately, and it's led to a growing number of precautionary product recalls. Most recently, Hungry Man Chipotle barbecue sauce boneless chicken wings were recalled due to fears of potential salmonella contamination. The same reason for recent recalls of Ritz crackers, Goldfish, and Flour Foods Swiss rolls. All of these products use dry whey powder produced by Associated Milk Producer AMPI, which issues a precautionary recall of the whey powder over the potential for salmonella contamination. AMPI has several distributors, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is working to determine whether any other products may have come into contact with the contaminated whey. And this is from the FDA. Our team is on site investigating a facility that processes the dry whey used in the recalled products, and we're working to identify what other companies may have used the ingredient to determine what, if any, food may be contaminated with salmonella. We take this work very seriously and will continue to communicate about this potential health risk as we learn more. Symptoms of salmonella food poisoning include diarrhea, fever, and abdominal cramps. Typical healthy adults can recover in less than a week, but the infection can be lethal and fatal for young children and the elderly, along with those who have a weakened immune system. So far, there have been no reported illnesses associated with any of the recalled products. The FDA recommends throwing away any of the products that might be infected. So now here is a full list. We have the Goldfish flavored Blast Extra Cheddar, Goldfish flavor Blast Sour Cream Onion. We have the Goldfish Baked and Whole Grain Extra Cheddar, Goldfish Mixed Extra Cheddar Pretzel, Mr. Freshly's Swiss Rolls. I used to eat those when I was little. Food Lion Swiss Rolls, Baker Treat Swiss Rolls, Great Value HEB and Market Square Swiss Rolls. And that is it. So that is it for the recalls there. So the long story short, we don't really know what in the hell we're consuming, because one day it's real, then one day it's not. Soon enough, they're going to sit up there and tell us that, oh, the milk that we've been giving you, that doesn't even come from actual cows. I'm like, what's real anymore? It's the Matrix. This is obviously what everything is, where we are. This is why everything is coming out to be fake and things of this nature. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that they were cloning Dolly the sheep, and then after that, it wasn't that long ago that you had Burger King. They were like, "Hey, we use horse meat and we love it." Da 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 da. And then it wasn't too long after that that people found out, like, "Hey, guess what? Bob, you're eating cloned salmon and things of this nature." They even have labs right now. You can look up some videos on YouTube. They have labs where some people have actually taken a biopsy of their own muscle and they put it in a tube and they cooked it. So yeah, cannibalism right there. They basically ate themselves. Um, the guy literally said, like, yes, it's different. It has, a very, gamey type of smell, and it has a texture and things. Is Yes, it's going to taste different. It's going to taste weird because you are what the fuck you eat. So if you eat trash, more than likely it's going to taste like trash. But if you're used to trash, that trash obviously it tastes like $1,000,000. Um, but so on and so on and so on. So you got to be careful of a lot of different things. Um, I would tell people go look up meat glue if you don't know what meat glue is. It's a white substance that a lot of butchers happen to use to put together scraps of meat. So if you think that you're getting a full T-bone steak, if you think you're getting whatever you think you're getting, you're not really getting that. Meat glue is also made, I think if I can remember, with the plasma of pigs. And also, you are not to ever breathe that in at all because it will literally turn your lungs to concrete. Like it is a binding agent to the serious of powers. Like it is not a joke. And there's also a variety of other things too that you can happen to look up, such as wax cabbage, fake eggs. That was another thing that was running amok in certain areas around the world. What was it? Cabbage, eggs, rice. What am I missing? Lettuce. It's just a variety of things. You also have some videos that showcase people in Mexico, um, basically beefing up vegetables, like filling it in with certain things, and they're also putting certain types of like paint on the vegetables to make them seem brighter than normal, and and things of that nature. So it's a serious business. Remember, they said it was about what $50 billion a year when it comes to fraudulent foods, and these are foods that all of us are consuming. So it's a very big and a very serious deal. So this is why you have to monitor what you eat, what you buy, and things of this nature. I know it's a very hard and tedious task to do because a lot of guys, a lot of you guys have families and things of this nature. So you're just trying to throw everything in a cart so you can hurry up and get home and make a meal, or you're trying to throw everything in a cart so you can hurry up and get home. You can make dinner for yourself or lunch for yourself so you can get ready to go to work or, what have you. But that is it for the video. Sorry it was, a little bit long. My apologies. I tried to cut it as short as possible. It just didn't seem to work. But as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.